Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Friday Night StarCraft. I am the Dragooner, back after a 1-week hiatus. Sorry I went away. Bring you, this time it's the Grand Finals. I decided to step up to the big boy games of the Week 6 of the KSL. Between, in the top left, our Protoss herO. It is, of course, herO. And in the bottom right, it is... I mean, I could say the Encroaching Darkness Dark, but I think that's a little bit even more on the nose than our Protoss herO. Regardless, it's Dark. He's probably the best Zerg in... Oh, okay, second best Zerg in the world at the moment. I always forget that herO exists. He's the best Korean Zerg in the world. Facing against... probably the best Protoss in the world. And amusingly, this was an incredibly Protoss stacked bracket. There were about 10 Protoss players and 4 everything else. Regardless, we have an Overlord. Stunning news, I know. Just has this poke in. He sees the expansion going down. He saw the timing of it. That's all that he needed to know. Gonna see this Adept pop out. He's gonna pop off in his Peller, and he knows that he'll be safe for the first 5-6 minutes of the game, probably. herO decides against mistakenly putting his pylon down at the 3rd instead of the natural. Dark decided to take his 4th as his 3rd base. Not entirely sure why the decisions that have been made this game have been made. But regardless, an Adept will not shade in. It will instead just poke around the front. Zerglings attack some rocks. And then the shade will not go in again. Yes, I also hope this dance doesn't continue for too long because I want to... Oh, damage is done! As the Adept runs in this time and then the shade goes out. He will make his way back across the map. Another Adept will come across. Oracle, heading across, has not yet been spotted. I've no doubt that will change momentarily, and he wanders into the range of some Overlords. So, Dark knows what's happening. Starts grouping his queens up, keeps his Zerglings together. Oracle will fly in, see a queen, and be immediately forced to leave. That's okay at this point. The Oracle is there as much to force ball crawlers, keep the queens active, give some cover to the Adept so that maybe they'll be able to sneak in. Taking an Oracle, not something you see every day, but definitely increases the potency of this quite a lot. And he's going to need it to be a bit more potent because there are spore crawlers coming down now. Queens, just poke them away for now. They make a dive in. Spore crawler comes up, but they do manage to get five drones before going down without losing the Oracle, which is always very important with these moves. It's not just the harassment that they do that matters, it's the harassment that they threaten. If you can keep them worried about you flying in, then that's almost as big as actually flying in and doing damage. So it just forces the Zerg to play more defensively. Forces him to build units. Which, as we all know, Zergs really don't want to build units until they hit about 75 workers. The ideal game for Zerg is, okay, I have 75 workers, I have like 80 drones, 10 queens, and now I start producing my army. Because they can do that at a point in time when everybody else has about 50 workers, and your opponents just get drowned in lings all day. Regardless, Oracle's making another dive into the main. There's only one queen to defend here. They do decide to go aggressive, but do not quite finish it off. They are forced away, but they do nab some workers on the way back out. Meanwhile, I'm gonna guess there was some Adepts attacking that queen. a reasonable adept pack forming up in the middle of the map now. A couple of stalkers remaining at home. Overseer forming. He's just gonna have a look soon, I assume, as the adepts walk in and the adepts leave. Just gets himself topped up with the shield battery. Overseer will have a poke in, sees the robo. Dark has a few drones sasist. Bit annoying, but not terribly critical. He does see the gateway flood beginning, so he's got the timing on that production. Dark. This Oracle gets a drone, gets out. That's just what he's doing. He's just forcing little bits of damage here and there. Just the endless dance of stopping a Zerg from getting out of hand. As now we got Hydras through spines finishing up. Lurker Den on its way. On the other side, is that going to be a second? That's a second robo. Robotics Bay. God, what? How many gateways now? Only 7 up gates. But he does have double robo. And still only 4 hatch production on the other side. But Oracle gets forced back. There's a lot of Hydras. There's a lot of Zerglings. And that's only going to get worse as the game goes on. The Adepts load into the Warp Prism. A lot of Stalkers here. Can be good units, especially when you're good at micro. But as he blinks forward to take out a Queen there. But they're going to require a little bit more backing up here. Or else sooner or later there'll just be a Zergling swarm that just surrounds them. And good night, Irene. He's poking forward now. Forces transfuse. He picks up a Lurker and a Queen with those disruptor shots there. Definitely what you want to see. Third disruptor enters the fray now. Spore Crawler's going down at the front. Not entirely sure what their job is at this point. I mean, they can spot the Observer if it flies in, but not seeing much sign of... Oop. Half-decent disruptor volleys there. Probably wanted a little bit more, but he gets a decent chunk of Hydras, picks up Queen and a Lurker. If I wasn't mistaken. As +2 weapons on its finishing up. By which I mean it's about halfway. Lurker range is also about halfway. That's going to be a very big deal when that finishes, because it's already hard enough for herO to push up this ramp. Once Lurker range finishes, there's no point. He just needs to go attack somewhere else. Meanwhile, Dark taking this opportunity to take his 5th, now that herO has established his 4th now. Lurkers. Yep. Oh, manages to get one. Yeah, that last shot got a little bit lost there when the disruptor got surrounded. These Vipers doing a good job of not really allowing the disruptors to get good shots off, as herO kind of just walked up the ramp there a little bit, I believe, into the field of Lurker spines. Never the place you want to be. Zealot run by forming up on the top side here by the looks of things, but there's a bunch of Lurkers in this mineral line. Gonna be just a couple of spine crawls. I don't see that doing a huge amount. Probably get some drones, but that'll be about it. 5th base. herO realized it's up yet? Whoop. Where's he gone? He knows it's up, or it's very close to anyway, so he's gonna move around here, trying to form up. One step ahead of him though is Dark with his 11 Lurkers. Spots the run by, which I'm not convinced herO hadn't forgotten about. And will kill a lot of Zealots here, and That hurts quite a bit, because that was really herO's attempt at creating something. He also has his warp prism in the bottom that is not able to do anything there. As Orb pulling in the disruptors. Good stasis ward. Might allow him to get away. He's split up his army though. He does take down a lurker. This base is dead. This base can't stay up, but he should be able to get his army out of here as the first carriers roll in. And that, of course, changes the dynamic of the situation significantly. There aren't many Hydras left at the moment, so that's also going to force Dark to pull back immediately and construct 11 Hydras. Counterattack here has not been cleaned up. herO, you've got lurkers. You always need to get that checked. You can never afford to. Oh, well, okay, you also really don't want to lose carriers like that either. This lurker continues attacking. He can see it now. He's got the observer overhead. Meanwhile, those zealots they are dead. They are very dead. Finally rolls back to clean up lurkers there. As, well, not a large army, at least in terms of raw number of units. There is a lot of tech here. It's not an easy army to attack, as Dark apparently agrees and is just like, I'm just gonna go around the side. Just don't ignore me, guys. It's forcing his way in. Couple of good disruptor shots. Kills some lurkers, kills some workers. Kills the hatchery. Pulling back now. Gets some good feedbacks, but unfortunately needed one more. And that will be that. As base goes down. herO evacuates his army. Does manage to prevent Lings from doing anything through a combination of Stasis Ward and some nicely warped in zealots into the choke. But Dark, he's just going to form up. He's got a big push forming up to the top side here. That's 7 lurkers, a handful of Lings, and a lot of Hydras. Taking on 4 cannons and a shield battery. I know what my money is on. Apologies there, not quite sure what happened. Probably pushed the wrong button. Yes. He will force his way in. He will take down that base. These lurkers are going to run forward. There are a couple of carriers attacking them. They will recall in some more from this push in the middle of the map that is very annoying, but I'm sure it's going to achieve enough. Hydras fighting the interceptors here. Lurkers will get that nexus underneath it all, and that is a big deal. Hydra's caught out in the top of the map. With the rest of the army retreating, I think they might be able to handle... Yep, they can take on those stalkers. The last stalker taken out here. Meanwhile, lurkers have gotten into the natural. There's more lurkers headed for the main base. Those ones probably won't last too long. However, the lurkers in the back of the natural are going to be very, very annoying to deal with. As it's just got to... almost loses all of his workers there. He's lost 41 workers in all of this. Setting him down to 28 probes to the 61 drones of Dark. Who, yes, took some economic damage and all of that. Yes, there is a warp prism in the bottom of the map still. However, he's still got this mining base. herO, on the other hand, has a natural with a lurker in it. Can't really mine from that. A main base with 15 minerals left. And that is it. There is desperately little still on the map here. As Dark's accidental swarm host is at the front here. And this is a horrible, horrible spot here now for herO, because... well, obviously he can't build units because he needs supply depots in order to do that. Although he's got a nice army. The army's going to be very difficult to deal with, and yes, Dark's economy isn't the best in the world, But very soon, herO won't be able to afford to build interceptors. And at that point, these carriers don't get to attack on their own. You know, they can't do anything. Like, these Hydras are paying for themselves just by killing off a handful of interceptors. They don't need to kill the carriers. Meanwhile, pushing to the middle of the map, the, I forget the name of it, Microbial Shroud, just massively reducing the amount of damage that these carriers are doing, as allowing the Hydras to just pick off these interceptors basically at will. And herO is completely out of money now. Half these carriers have two or less. All these carriers have 2 or less interceptors. Several of them have none. And at that point, they're just not worth 250. There was a 350 minerals, 250 gas. These Hydras can just walk all over them if he realized. The Archon hasn't even got a huge amount of energy either. The Shroud goes down again. And that's basically all the interceptors now. It jumps on top of these carries, and that is game. Alright, everyone. Game 2 now. Dark, starting in the top left. herO, bottom right. As they are opposite sides of Dragon Scales. Well, if you've made it this far, then, first of all, thank you. View time is incredibly important on YouTube. Second of all, yeah, there will be some things happening on this channel soon. I did a live stream recently over on Twitch. I intend to try and get some clips from that, turn them into shorts. Might start doing that with some of these videos, because, you know, shorts are all the rage these days and all of that. Might as well throw a few in, see what happens. And I would like to stream a little bit more. I might try to start doing that maybe weekly, something like that. I might put up some polls, see when people would enjoy that, or, you know, should I do this at all? And possibly some other things, such as, you know, do people like the full match in one replay format? Should I just go, you know, game by game and maybe send out and release them, you know, say this series goes to 5 games, let's say, and then just throw out 5 videos over 5 days, a shorter length, but regardless. As in this game, I forgot to open the production tab. Basically, nothing interesting happened in the first 2 minutes, as is standard. Pylon, double gas, dark, season expansion, and a cybercore. And yes, as I was saying, I might put out a poll, see which format people would prefer, and might start doing some streams, do some shorts, all of that fun stuff, and see what happens as Chicken Man informs us about some ducklings that have been forgotten. Is this some observers that we forgot about? Well, oh well. I don't really stream for kids anyway, so yes, it appears some commentators got forgotten about in this one, which I'm sure was very fun for all of the people watching live. I'm sorry, I should stop moving the camera around so much. As, ooh, change up from herO here, going slightly old school back to, from what I understand, I only really got back into StarCraft about the end of last year. But it looks like he's going slightly old school with the Adept Glaive build. Getting his gateways now. Cybercore done. Just getting Adepts. Shipping them out across the map. We'll do a little bit of a poke with these first 2, but I'm assuming he's going to want to get back out before the upgrade finishes to try to avoid giving too much away. However, did Darkseer Okay, Dark saw a Twilight. So maybe he realized what was going on because he's got the Roach Warren on the way. Roaches, as it turns out, quite good against Adepts, even when they attack 50% faster. Yes, I know it's 45, but close enough. Let's be real. So, yes, Dark, I believe, has worked out what's going on. He's preparing the counter to it. What have we got in the units count? We got, yep, the Adept count is building. Dark has cut a lot of workers here. hero's economy is in a much better place. As... yes, there are some Ravagers. Yes, there are a decent number of Lings. But these are Resonating Glaive Adepts, and they attack quickly. With the Warp Prism to ferry them around, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Adepts come home. The Warp Prism finds a Queen. And... oh, what a shot from the Ravagers there. Correctly predicting that herO would massively over-micro the Warp Prism there. If he had have just left or stuck around, he would have been fine, but because he tried to do both, it's absolutely nailed by the Adepts there. Sorry, by the Ravagers. Ravagers? I'm gonna find the... Adepts are gonna find the Ravagers in the middle of the map. That's what I wanted to say. Meanwhile... yep, sees a bunch of roaches there. He does not want to jump on top of that. Dark, however, does a good job. He's on top of the Nexus. He gets a shield battery, which is nice. And herO will respond by putting down another shield battery, as expected. Getting his third base now. And... so I'm going to assume that herO wins this game based purely off the fact that Dark has built a Nexus. Sorry, is building a Spire. That is just my understanding of how games work. It might not be quite the same against Protoss, but it feels like every Terran game I see, they just die. Oh, gets a Queen with his Disruptors. So this Warp Prism does have a lifespan on this harass. Because sooner or later, probably Mutas, theoretically Corruptors could do it as well, will kill him. However, managed to get the Disruptors down in the main base. He's going to kill a Queen, pick up, and leave. All he needs to do, he's got some Adepts up here. Don't think they're going to be able to deny this base. They're just running around so their Shades can get out. Meanwhile, Disruptors drop down in the main. They do not shoot. Just baiting the workers out of position and well, thinks about the workers, goes for the Queen instead. Probably the correct choice. Meanwhile, Stalker Adept in the middle of the map. Pushes back an Overlord. Fourth base is almost up. And... oh. Manages to use the Disruptors to bait in the Zerg there. Doesn't actually end up firing off their shots. Cancels a Ravager. Push continuing forward. A lot of Zerglings had a lot of Corrosive Vials there, actually. That would not have helped. Well, drones are pulled. It's a big flock of Stalkers. Mutas fly in. There's probably not enough Roaches and Mutas to deal with all of this. All the Mutas pretty much are gone now. Big Disruptor shot takes down almost half of the remaining Roaches. And Dark taps out of that one. Rightio, folks, it's game 3 here on Ancient Cistern. Tied up, 1 apiece. Playing for all of the marbles, by which is $400, I believe, for first place. 250 for second, if I remember correctly, for the KSL. So, not all of the marbles, but a decent chunk of change. As herO, Dark, he knows what's up. He just goes through his third. There's no point in even trying to go for your natural. Meanwhile, Gateway at the front. Everything looks normal. Very exciting, isn't it? Well, regardless, the game continues, and so must the casting. So, oh god, this was a very late spawning pool. I am going to have to stall for a while here, aren't I? So, down below, I guess, you might as well tell me what the weather's like in your area. That could be our fun YouTube comment of the day. As, you might as well hit the like button while you're there. Hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed this. You poor soul. Regardless, game continues. As I've probably said about 15 times in this cast so far. I'll come up with some new ones eventually. I'll reach into the 12th man school of... God, none of my viewers are going to get the 12th man, are they? That makes me sad. That is the great, absolute, just parody of parodies. And cricket commentary parodies, for those who aren't aware. Yes, it is highly amusing. Regardless, herO will shade out. Or not. Well, there's a pair of Zerglings coming towards him. Kind of incredible that that's the first thing that happened in this game, is 2 slowlings at the 2-minute 45 mark. And I'm impressed, to be perfectly honest with you. Meanwhile, the Zergling that gets into his main will be arrested by the probes. He will be tased until death. As such, advantage goes to herO. Yes, that was the wrong button. Yes, 2 adepts in the middle of the map. And what is going to happen? Well, he completely ignores the third. He sees a couple of queens. He's kind of stuck a little bit now because he shaded the other way. Fortunately, the queens run back onto the creep. He made the, I think, very wise decision of, you know, maybe let's not go into the base. As he gonna let these Zerglings run across the map. Does have his base walled off. Third base, however, will take some damage here. As the Oracle has not managed to do anything. A drone has gone down there. I suspect that was a drone that put down the third. Does force a cancel on the third. However, the Oracle squad now has formed up. 3 drones have gone down to a depth somewhere. That was a good pickup. Did he lose the adepts? He did lose the adepts. They were probably at that use by date anyway. Right. herO, deciding that that base at the top probably wasn't going to happen. Decides to come down here. Take this one. Kills off a few Zerglings. Well worth the cost of admission of 1 drone. And we'll fly back across the map. Few Zerglings running through the middle. And probably going to want to get some of the shoots up at some point to will herO as he stares at this Overlord right in front of him. Meanwhile, the Adepts get on top of the ramp. That's a good work with the 2 Oracles behind. Picking off some drones now. up to 5 drones. This attack gets a 6th. Got a few Zerglings as well. This attack has been decent. These Adepts... Where'd you go? We'll make it out. Kill a few more drones than the natural. The Queens cleared or forced away the Oracles for now. And recalls back out the Adepts. That's a decision you were able to make. Gets 3 Adepts out of his recall, which, yes, it's not nothing, but, oh, he did lose the 2 Oracles. That isn't great. And neither is this Nidus one. What's about to be thrown into it? Looks like a bunch of Zerglings. So, it looks like it's just a Zergling tunnel. Right, the Queens. I forgot about Queens. As, this is right on his front door now, herO, and 3rd base does go down. Cannot cancel a finished building. Unless you're bunker, but that doesn't count. Dark, establishing a nice little home away from home here. At the 4th, probably become the 4th place location. Oh yeah, that Oracle needs to get out of there. That is a large number of Queens. Good surround on the Zerglings. Managed to get these Stalkers. He's going to get all the Stalkers. A couple of the Adepts will probably be able to shade out. But regardless, that is a huge amount of units lost there for very little damage in return. And the Queens march ever onwards. Blink is about to finish now, so it's going to be a little bit hard to catch the Stalkers out like that again. However, Dark decides that he's had enough. He's done the damage he wanted to do. He held up that 3rd base. He killed a lot of Stalkers and a decent number of Adepts. He managed to get another Oracle, but I'm not sure that mattered. As Dark returns on home, will he be able to jump on these Adepts? Yes, he will. They do find a good choke point, though, and they're going to focus down a few drones. And... ooh, does manage to keep it to just 3 there. Continuing around the map. Stalkers on patrol. Deselect those rock shelly. Links on top of some Zerglings. As I believe all of the creep in the top in the 4th base has been cleaned up there. So herO will be able to take that at his whenever he wishes. There's a few creep tumors in the middle as well. We'll find some Zerglings. Manages to jump on top of them. Not terribly impactful, but you'll always take damage when you get it. Hydras and Hydra range on the way at this now. Still only on lair tech, so no lurkers at this point in time. And no lurkers going to be on the way for a hot minute. Upgrades also proceeding nicely along here for herO. No Evo chamber even done yet for Dark. The Evo chamber's just finishing up now. He gets +1 attack for all of his ground units, being the order of the day. Probably a decent one considering what he's up against. A lot of high damage, low attack speed units. As herO is also pumping away at his attack upgrades. Just keeping the creep patrol down. As Dark electing to use his creep as ablative armor, so he can just start getting his army proper as he rounds out his nice 78 drone economy. And getting some of the last pieces of tech that he is likely to be wanting for this game. Oh, not so much wanting for this game, but like, it will form the core of his army for this game. Hydras, they do pretty well against Stalkers, but the Stalkers can leave. And they can't really stop them from doing that. Your stasis wards going down around the map. Okay, I was just making sure that wasn't Mutas. It is in fact the Overlord puddle. good number of Templars here as well. He's got, what, 6 of them now? Which, something died in the middle of the map. I'm gonna guess some Zealots or something. Zealots, waiting their opportunity for the run-by in the top right. I wonder if herO will remember about them this game. The Stalkers, sitting in the middle of the map. Gonna get jumped on by some Zerglings here. They do blink back, manage to get to the ramp. But with the Hydras coming up behind, Jace Sword, enough to make Dark decide that that's probably not a good idea. And I think I would agree with him. He's going to find it very difficult to get up that ramp, and the Stalkers will just shell them mercilessly as they try to. Bringing the army into a couple of piles here. Gonna get this round on the Lings, who attempt to get the scout off, but herO, bit wiser than that one, doesn't let them, as okay, only 8 Templar and what, couple of Archons? The count is growing, and they are going to be quite useful against these Hydras. Yeah, that didn't achieve much of anything. But at least he remembered about them, which is an improvement. As Mortals, I don't think are going to be terribly useful. A couple of Colossi seem like the sort of thing would be a good idea. Very good against Zerglings, pretty good against Hydras. And with +3 weapons on the way, that is a considerable amount of damage. Zealots, not quite going to be able to finish off that hatch, but Dark. Look, I know this hatchery was under attack as well. As, ooh, takes out his own Oracle there with the Storm. That was not part of the plan. Okay, good. He did clean up that Zealot. I was very concerned. Ooh, decent feedbacks. Fungal also goes down, though, in response. Yeah, Zerglings aren't going to be able to attack into that, my friend. Gets the hatchery. Archons, just keeping the zoning. How many Infestors is it? That is 8 Infestors. So this is the Spellcaster game, as a couple of Infestors go down for not much damage. Big fungal growth there. You get some nice... Whoop, gonna cancel a lot of Banelings here. That was not the best place to warp them in. The Archons will absorb a fair few hits before they go down. Templar managed to dodge the Banelings. However, the surround is coming in now. There's not many Storms left. There are still a few, though. And those remaining Templar can warp into Archons if they need to. But herO, deciding he's done what he needs to do. Will back away. Or maybe, perhaps it was all he can do rather than what he needed to. Because he did manage to pick up this base at some point in all of that chaos. It wasn't that one Zealot that Dark forgot about. But, nonetheless, Hydras chasing Dark back, just keeping some damage going down. Few Zerglings. See that there's no base up in the top left. War Prism blows up in the bottom right. Carriers are on the field now with +1 weapons, +2 is on the way. Mothership finishing up as well here for herO. Hopefully it goes better than his last one did, because that was not pretty to see, as Zealots run in, force another cancel, get some kills. Zealots in the main, forced back. The army in the middle. Ooh, good fungal growth there, but also good Storms in response. So, have to see how all of this shakes out, but looks like... Oh, those Templar are very... see if herO remembers that War Prism at a later point in this game. He is forcing a lot of Queens, Zealots, Zerg, basically, back. Using it. However, at some point... Ooh, that's a lot of Hydras. That's not good for those Immortals. Mortals, turns out, not so immortal when there's a screen full of Hydras chasing them down. Ooh, big fungal growth. All the Stalkers hits the Templar as well now. Little known feature of fungal growth is that it also reveals stealth units. Doesn't come up very often, but will be a useful tool until the Overseers get fully online. Meanwhile, a lot of Zealots warped into the main here. Might be able to cancel the 3 attack upgrades. It's going to kill a lot of Queens regardless. Does deny +3 weapons. Meanwhile, Hydra's in the north, Hydra's in the south, all counterattacking. 20 probes have gone down. Meanwhile, a base has gone down, and a not insignificant amount of Dark's base has gone down. So, does manage to finish +3 melee. However, I think he lost a macro hash there. He does not lose the Hydra Den. He's lost a lot of workers. His attack continues in the right. There's one Hydralisk on the right-hand side. That's probably going to get cleaned up sooner or later. Mothership in the middle of the map, and Dark has had enough. I just need to have a quick look because I lost track of all of that. I apologize. So he had 60 workers, and he had 2 bases on the left-hand side. He had no... Yeah, okay. Okay, he lost a lot in the main. What upgrades did he have? 3, 2, 1, yeah. Yeah, I think it was just... He had no army left. He wasn't going to be able to rebuild it in time. Oh, he was out of queens as well. Yeah, okay. Very difficult to rebuild an economy without queens. So, that's 2-1 to herO. Let's get to game 4. Game 4 is loaded up. Skipped ahead slightly. Don't worry, all you build order nerds, it was only like 40 seconds. I can confirm that there is a gateway at home, and there is a hatchery at the 3rd. All is well in the world of Protoss versus Zerg. herO? Okay. Oh, I thought we were going to see something interesting. I thought he was going to start plonking down cannons or something. Or at least faking it. Nexus. Before his core. Spawning pool on the way. And, oh my god, he built a cybernetics core. I do not believe it. Regardless. Dark. Getting his 100 gas. And... sorry, he only has 50 gas at this point. Let's have a look, see. Where are we? Spawning pool finishes. Gonna happen first, the cyber core or the 100 gas? Just curious to see if he keeps the workers in gas. Nope, he's pulling them out of gas. He's left one in there. That's fine. Cyber core does not immediately start warp gate, which means we have a Stargate. I'm learning builds. I mean, yes, they're the ones we see basically every game, but we ignore that part because it makes for less good of a story. Stalker. Unusual first unit, probably why Dark kept his Overlord there for so long. As he, yep, there we go, now he's got it lined up. On top of his pillar. Pulls out his binoculars. As hero's Stalker will sulk. As he is not able to knock Dark's Overlord off of his perch. Dark responds to this sulking by establishing his third. Well, okay, establishing is probably a little bit far for this point, but you get what I mean. And would you believe it, another Oracle. hero's only built about 10 of the things in this series, and wow, he really did not like his Overlord in this game. As the Overlord just runs around just to make this take longer and be difficult. Oracle will follow him until he dies to establish dominance, even though there's no high ground in the slightest bit of sight. Dark will start putting down his spores. Third base is ready now, so he'll start training that up as well, I assume. Yep, sees 2 queens, sees some zerglings. Decides not to pop out there. However, these 2 oracles will come in. That spore crawler hasn't finished yet. He was a little bit slow on the activation. However, still picked up 4 workers. Yeah, I'm not sure these guys are going to get out somehow. One of them makes it back to the natural. I think the other one just died. Meanwhile, where did the oracles go? The oracles die as well? Oh, where are they? Where do I lose track of oracles? Let's just follow those guys around for now, shall we? As we stare into the glowing green balls and discover that they stare back, gaze into our souls, and 10 adepts move across the map. So that looks like that's going to be more interesting. Not sure what the oracles are doing at the moment. They split up, which means they're not attacking workers. Adepts hop into the natural, well, they will be promptly surrounded by links and drones. Many of those drones on hold position just to screw with pathing, I think. Does get 7 workers, which is a long way from irrelevant. He will pop in with his oracles, get a few more. Really leaning into the Oracle Adept harass in this game, and in this match, and it is working for him. It's done it has done a huge amount of work. Like, we have a look at the units lost. He's taken out 16 drones in the first 6 minutes of the game. That's the difference between 62 workers and 78. Dark could be on full base economy and just be powering army now, but he's still got to get some workers out. Help get the economy needed to get said army. Some links in the corner of the map. They will do something at some point. I have no doubt about it. Always when you least expect it, and when it will... Oh, never mind, they're doing it now. To be fair, I expected it to wait another 2 or 3 minutes, so... This was the time I was not expecting it. He will march directly into some zealots and come to the conclusion that that's a bad idea and not where he wants to be. As, well, that's a flock of oracles. The Delphi of Oracle? No, that doesn't work. Point is, I don't think I've ever actually seen 6 oracles in one place in a pro game before. He is marching into the field of queens and roaches, neither of which they deal damage to incredibly quickly. But with a lot of zealots in front... Yeah, this is not good for Dark. Like, he's got basically nothing that shoots up now. That was possibly all of the queens. I think there are only spores left to shoot up. And he is now able to kill a huge chunk of economy here. These zealots will eventually get cleared up by these roaches. And the oracles are starting to run dry on energy. But this has been so much, I feel, lost by Dark. Yeah, all the zealots have gone down, but zealots are pretty cheap, and there's another wave coming. Another oracle joins the party as well. I can't say I've seen a charge oracle build before. I've seen a lot of things paired with zealots in my time playing and watching StarCraft 2, but I've never seen Zealot Oracle. As, yeah, the Ravager's hoping to catch herO napping, but no such luck. Counter push is coming. I feel like there's going to be enough Zealots and Stalkers to deal with this. There's just about enough, there's enough Oracle energy to help. Even if they are starting to run out. Zealots will finish off the last of these roaches eventually. Gonna run around causing a little bit of damage. There's one in the third base. Oop. Roaches did manage to push forward here. Some nice usage of the Ravager cocoons there. Hold these Zealots up. It will get dealt with. It will get cleared up, but it will just take a hot minute. 16 workers have died through all this to the roaches that did manage to get into the base. I apologize. And also, shield battery overcharge was forced to use here. Okay, point is, a lot of workers went down. There are roaches absolutely everywhere. The multitasking required is insane. We are up to 9 oracles. A decent chunk of zealots. Few Templars going as well. I do not know where he's getting all of the gas for all of this. But he is building a gas bank while going Oracle Archon. Yes, he's getting a decent chunk of zealots as well, but like, this is a lot of gas being spent. On the other side, Dark is just continuing to pump roaches and zerglings into this fight. So these oracles do pretty much have free reign. I think I honestly would probably prefer seeing a couple of Void Rays at this point, because they can always shoot. I think that sounds good anyway. Yeah, Burrow's not going to be great against someone going this many lengths. More roaches do manage to get into the natural, into the third base, sorry, here. And he's just burrowing roaches around the place to try and be a nuisance and make them move in at appropriate moments. Did he get... Where's the Roach Warren? Okay, that doesn't tell me what hasn't upgraded. Roach. I don't believe you have right, this is how I do it. Yeah, okay, we have Roach speed, but we have no tunneling claws. Jesus Christ, we're up to 10 oracles. Yeah, you're gonna need more than just queens to defend your economy. I can almost take down a Nexus at this stage. As 20 workers go down. Dear God. 21 workers in a matter of moments. Dark has few extra workers at that base. He'll transfer them back home. Gets big oracle, big revelation off on the army. So Dark, after taking all of that damage, does now still have a worker lead. Stalker's pushing in. Just gonna... It's a little bit hard to tell how much energy these oracles have, but there are not enough queens there on their own to stop this. Spore Crawler might not be enough. Although those do have pretty good damage. However, that is a huge number of Stalkers. They're just going to blink forward. The Oracle's going to come in, start focusing down the Queens. And, oh god, the workers. Oh no, the roaches come in. And that is game. Dark claims the series. Sorry, herO claims the series 3-1. And that is it. Thank you all for watching. If you somehow made it to the end of this video without me pestering you into commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that stuff, go ahead, do that now, and I hope to see you all next time. Thank you.